This video is brought to you by my patrons at my Patreon page at Mignon Cobra TV. If you wish to help out my channel, consider checking out the link below. Thank you.
Hey there, my handsome and pretty little Cobras, and welcome back to the Cobras Nest. For those of you who are new, my name is Mignon Cobra and I make minimalism videos. Today's minimalism video is going to be 5 lessons that I learned from my Extreme Minimalism Days. So without further ado, let's just get into the video. Let's get it, let's go! Woo! Okay, so just a little bit preface before we get started. I was actually an extreme minimalist before I started my YouTube channel, and that's why the very first videos on my channel were decluttering obsession, the dangers of decluttering, because those were the lessons that I had learned after having been an extreme minimalist for, I would say, maybe a little under 2 years. So I'm going to be talking about some of the 5 lessons that I learned that could actually continue to help you in your life if you decide to take a minimalistic approach. Maybe not as extreme, but these are good lessons that I think that could help anybody out who's starting out their minimalism journey and maybe doesn't need to go down that far in the rabbit hole. Number 1, I can live well with less. I was really shocked at how little I needed to actually more or less have the same level of happiness. There's a lot of studies that talk about this, where people's baseline for happiness plateaus after good things happen and after bad things happen. You kind of come back to a genetically, according to the articles, a genetic set point of your level of happiness. This is kind of your baseline. It's more or less 50% or 40% genetic and then 50% environment. So I found that I was just as happy with less stuff as I was with more stuff. So it kind of made me in some ways a bit of a badass, that I realized that I could be just as happy with less stuff. And with less stuff, there was less burden on me. I didn't have to waste my time shopping, and I didn't have to waste my money buying things, thinking that those things were going to make me happy, when in the end it turned out that they weren't going to. I was going to be happy with or without them, in the same baseline of happiness. Number 2, no one noticed what I wore. In my extreme minimalism days, I did the uniform, not a capsule where like you have different items and you rotate it through them. So I think I bought like all black shirts for the 7 or 8 days of the week, including laundry, and I wore just the black shirts and 1 pair of pants and 1 jacket. And I did that for about 2 years till like I got fed up. I mean, it was a good social experiment. But what I mean to say is that I noticed that nobody noticed what I wore, and I thought that was kind of interesting, because I think if you ask me, how do others dress, I don't really care and I don't really notice. I mean, like, we have a general idea, oh yeah, they dress well, or they dress in this certain type of style, and it turns out that was the same thing with me. An example that I can think of is that Will the other day was showing me his Instagram. Turns out every shirt that he has, he's just wearing a gray shirt. It's a different gray shirt, but it's a gray shirt. And he said, did you ever notice? And I was like, no. So if you're considering maybe becoming a little bit more minimalistic, you can feel rest assured, if you're worried people are going to be like,
oh my god, they never wash their clothes.
No one cares what you wear. Number 3, I was a lot happier without the desire for more. Before I discovered minimalism as kind of like a lifestyle, or I guess like a practice, I was really obsessed with the idea that I could only finally be happier or find happiness after accumulating a lot of stuff. Like, I was just on the hamster wheel of buy, consume, pursue items, hoping that it would, I don't know, make me a better person, make me a happier person. But I found that, through the process of decluttering and becoming more minimalistic throughout the years, I found myself a lot happier when I no longer had like this intense desire for more stuff. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that like I don't desire stuff. I definitely still desire stuff. I still want an iPhone. If you guys have seen my earlier videos, you know that one of the things that I wanted was the iPhone 8. Now I want the iPhone 11. I still don't have one, and I still stupidly think it's going to make me happy. But the point that I'm trying to say is that while I have culled down the desire for a lot of stuff down to as little as I could, I don't really desire much things as I used to compared to in my youth or before the beginning of my minimalism journey. I'm just a lot happier, primarily because I no longer feel like, I need to get that, because I'm without it not happy. I feel happy right now, and I know that thing is gonna make me happy for a little bit. I'm gonna baseline, and then we're just gonna be in the same place anyway, so I might as well just save my money. All right, number 4. Speaking of money, I saved a lot of money. I was really shocked at how much money I saved. Like, I'm not here trying to brag like, oh, I saved so much money. Primarily, I was trying to pay off my student loans. That's why I went so hard, balls to the wall in the first place. I was really shocked at how quickly the little purchases added up. Like, I think I calculated how much my bubble tea habit was costing me, and although it was only like 10 renminbi here, another 15 renminbi here, I think in the span of a year, I spent over 2,000 Canadian on bubble tea, and it was like, what was I thinking? I cut out a lot of like frivolous things, like buying snacks, buying clothes, buying makeup, buying luxury handbags, buying hair products. I realized that I actually ended up saving a lot of money, and that's nice. I mean, like, who doesn't want more money? And lastly, number 5, I came to truly appreciate the aesthetic of less. Some of you may not know this, but I grew up on government housing, like I guess welfare, and I didn't like the aesthetic of less. Like, I remember growing up and always having completely empty pantries. I used to think it was like a rich white person person thing to have like your pantries filled with like cereal boxes and like canned food. I didn't have that growing up. I much preferred the idea of abundance, of a lot of everything, just like that clutter, you know. But in my extreme minimalism days, when I was like, I want to go for that super clean, super minimal aesthetic, you know, like that one item on a shelf with nothing else, I practiced it for 2 years, and it's actually now become something that's very habitual, something that I don't really think about, but I gravitate towards in just very simple, practical ways. I keep desks decluttered, clutter-free, stuff off the counter. I try to carry as little as possible, as often as I can. I think Coco Chanel said it best, like, if you want to leave the house, take off an accessory. Less is more now in terms of everything. Less makeup, less clothes, less food, and that disciplined pursuit of less has been really beneficial in ways that it's sometimes hard to explain. It's hard to explain in a tangible way, because the thing is, the way you live one aspect of your life is the way that you live all aspects of your life. So when I'm minimal in one area, it just kind of like spills into the other areas of my life, so that I just appreciate a less aesthetic in all areas of my life, in terms of like how I curate my Instagram feed, how I dress myself, what type of clothes I pick, how I fill my timetable up. Like, I try to prioritize important things and not over clutter it with as much as I can, but for no particular reason or without any meaning or intentionality. If you guys enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.